An exhibit at the Joseph Gross Gallery at the School of Art highlights the work of 3 graduating MFA students. The culmination of months of planning and organizing, the students are required to chart and prepare every aspect of their creation from design to installation, and very little is left to chance.
It definitely goes hand in hand. I mean, if you're going to be creating artwork that you have the intentions of showing outside of the university setting, outside of academia, you need to know the ins and outs of a gallery. You need to know how to interact with the gallery and the curators and installers. You need to be explicit with your directions. You need to know how to best present your work so that you get your content and message across. So, you know, marrying the educational aspect and their visual art education with the practical side of it and the basics in gallery management is a very, very important opportunity for them to have in this space, particularly with the MFA show.
To me, the tent acts as, you know, it's very clean and very pure and very white, and it speaks to the purity, what we perceive as the purity of the Arctic world. We think that it's pure and internal and untouchable. And so I'm sort of speaking to our fantasy perceptions about the North and about the polar regions and so on. And when you go inside, you sort of further experience that fantasy. But because the forest is dying and because it's almost set up like a museum diorama, you realize that you're trying to capture a fantasy and failing because it is all sort of fading away. So I'm pointing out to the fantasy and the reality of our relationship to the North and the icy parts of the world that we're losing. The installation process was, I don't want to call it an ordeal, but it definitely was labor intensive. I was prepared for that. I've done installation work before in some museums and so on, and so I knew that it was going to be very time consuming. So I plotted out 3 days. I had assembled the entire piece in my own studio loft space, and then because even one triangular sort of flat of the tent is too large to get through my door, I literally had to unbuild the entire project and then rebuild it here on site.
There's always challenges with every exhibition that you execute, whether it's traditionally hanging work or new media or new project or performance pieces. It's not only important for the community to see the work that's being shown here from either international artists or students or faculty themselves, but it helps them gain a better understanding of the arts. So it's kind of a twofold, you know, gaining the access, gaining the exposure, allowing people to learn and understand art from the community side of it, but it also helps our students, our faculty, and those artists to gain exposure and also learn from the community themselves too. So it's a very important space, and it's very important for the School of Art to have that space.